Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thank you for attending today. My name is Kimber. I'm the Director of Social Media here at Smart Sites, and here with me I have Todd Jensen, who's the CMO of Snowball. We're going to be your presenters today. Cassandra is also here with us. She is from Smart Sites, and she runs all things partnerships, so she's going to be here interacting in the comments, letting Todd and I know if there's any questions. All of that good stuff. You are more than welcome to put your questions in the comments. When I'm presenting, I'll stop at the end of every slide just to see if there's any additional questions. Otherwise, we will have a Q&A at the end here. So it is 1:01. I'll give everybody like maybe one more minute to join. It looks like we still have a couple people popping in here, and then I'll go ahead and screen share and we will get started here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and screen share. Once I go into presentation mode, I'll probably turn my camera off just to help with streaming. Google can be a little bit finicky sometimes when there's so many people on a call. But I would like to go ahead and introduce myself a little bit, and then I will hand it over to Todd to introduce himself as well. So again, my name is Kimber Hines. I'm the Director of Social Media here at Smart Sites. In my department, we handle all things organic social media and influencer marketing. I actually started at Smart Sites about 3 years ago as a web and SEO project manager, so I have a lot of experience in that sector as well. And then I stepped into this role. Personally, I have about 12 years of experience in digital marketing as a whole. It's what I went to school for. I also have a degree and a background in graphic design, so I'm pretty much just a well-rounded person. Todd, if you want to take a minute to introduce yourself, and then I'll dive into the meeting agenda.
I love it. Hey, everybody, I'm Todd Jensen. I'm the CMO at Snowball, and it's great to meet you. A little bit about me. I'm passionate about marketing. I am a husband. I'm a father. I'm a trail runner, and I am an aspiring sneakerhead. So my wife just bought me a brand new pair of Air Force Ones. And so if I feel like I'm just really pumped right now, I'm still riding that high. So it's not the 200 milligrams of caffeine running through my system. It's not only that. So anyway, it's great to meet you, and I can't wait to share what we've got.
Caffeine is a must. Yes, I'm a mom of young children too. I've got 4 of them, so caffeine is 100 milligrams is not a whole lot going on for me right now, but I hear you there. All right, let's go into the agenda. So today we're going to go over quick intros, which we just did. We'll go into our presentations. I'm going to present first for organic social media. And then at the end, we will do Q&A. Again, Cass from Smart Sites is here to help manage those comments. If there's any questions on a specific slide, I will pause at the end of every slide just to see if there's any answer. Otherwise, we'll just have an open forum Q&A at the very end as well. Just so you're aware, we are recording this session. I will send the recording out to everybody who RSVP'd, because some people RSVP but can't quite make the time. That way they get the presentation as well. We will also be sending out this slide deck at the end. So don't feel like you have to screenshot or, write any notes down or anything like that. We'll send you a PDF of this, and it will have a link to my calendar if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one to go over social media. And I know Todd has some great offerings for you as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in here. I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with organic social media for home services. Now, a lot of what I'm going to present to you today is specified for home services, but it's also our generalized approach to almost every industry we work with. So here at Smart Sites, we don't niche down to just home services or just medical. We work in all industries. So my team and I work together to kind of create strategies and processes that could work for anybody, and then tailor it down to our clients specifically. So let's go over the importance of organic social media. Now, you're going to see the word organic a lot in my presentation, because a lot of people now get social media and organic social media a little bit intertwined here. There's a lot of moving parts to social media. There's the paid version, and then there's organic. So organic is where you're going to be posting posts onto your feed, onto your timelines, reels, stories. That's what's considered organic, along with engagement, So responding to comments, reaching out to people, posting in groups, all of that good stuff, which we'll go over in a little more detail later in the presentation. But I always like to start with just explaining that, because a lot of people come to us and sign, for us to help them with their social media, and they start talking about campaigns and retargeting. That is what's considered paid social media. So that falls into our PPC category. And I think in the upcoming future, there's going to be a webinar on that as well. However, what is the importance of organic social media for businesses specifically? Brand awareness. Organic social is always going to be at the top of that sales funnel. We are there to make people aware that you and your business exist. If they don't know you exist, they can't patronize your business anyways. Online reputation is another big one, and this is going to tie directly into Todd's presentation as well, but this is something we keep an eye on for our clients as well. We're looking at reviews, responding to positive ones on their behalf. If there's anything negative, we can help them with their options and approach. Marketing and promotion. I know this kind of counteracts what I said a little bit earlier about organic versus paid. However, there is still part of what we do in organic that is going to be marketing and promotional. We're still getting your products out there, your services, we're promoting your brand. So it is still promotional, but we also need to be building your community and personifying your business, as we go. Customer engagement is a big one. A lot of people now, especially the younger millennials and even 10 years younger than myself, my team loves to tease me and call me the geriatric millennial. But even people younger than me, they use social media as the new search engine. I was very shocked to realize recently that I even have a couple of team members who don't necessarily search on Google anymore. They go to Instagram, they go to TikTok, they go to Facebook, and they search what they're looking for before even Googling anything. So we're starting to see a shift in mindset here on how people use social media. It's not just for social anymore. It's also for business and search purposes as well. And again, supporting online search. So it wasn't too long ago. I feel like it was like around 2019 or so. Algorithms have changed. Google bots have changed how they produce search results. They never used to crawl social media profiles for search engine results. And now they do. So it's very, very important that whatever you're targeting for SEO purposes, to rank on Google, to be found on Google, is also intertwined into your social media posts, into the bio, legitimately everywhere across all your marketing, because now we're starting to see a huge uptick in website traffic directly from social profiles as well. Any questions here on this before I move on to the next slide? Okay, perfect. So to further elaborate on why organic social media is so important for businesses, I have tailored these stats to be somewhat home services specified. But again, these stats are just extremely strong in general. So consumers are now 5 times more likely to do their searches on social media when they're in the market for some home services. Again, are they searching the search bar? Maybe. They're also searching groups. I don't know about where you live, but where I live, we have a couple different groups for home services specifically. We've got what's called the Hudsonville Informed group, where people will go and ask for recommendations. They want that personal recommendation. We also have groups called Gig It Done, GIG, where people can post what they're looking to have done around their house or in their yard, or whatever it is, and people can say, hey, I'd love to help you with this. I'd love to give you a free quote. These are the groups I'm talking about engaging in for home service specifically. 22% out of a random pool of participants, 22% of respondents said they read online reviews to choose home service contractor. I bet this is actually higher in certain generations. Again, it is definitely a generational thing. My father, a true baby boomer, is not going to go onto Facebook and do a whole lot. However, my husband's mom is very active on Facebook. It depends on the person. It depends on the generation. However, we are seeing a huge uptick in people reading reviews, asking for recommendations on social media specifically for home services. 17 times. The average number of times users aged 24 to 45 check their social media accounts daily. Now, if you are a home service business, this is super important for you. Your homeowners are now in this age group, 24 to 45. So yes, these millennials, even the one before me, which I can't remember if it's Gen Z or Gen X, I personally can't keep them straight. They are using social media for their searches and to find people. And this is how many times they look at their phone and scroll social media every day. You have, on average, 17 opportunities every day to get in front of somebody. 75% represents social media presence, 75% as important as length of time in business for all consumers. So this is actually very interesting as well. This is a new stat that I'd never heard before. It used to be, the mindset has changed with, again, generational here, with baby boomers, with my dad. If they've been in business 15 to 20 years, they have to be reliable. That's not necessarily the case anymore. A social media presence is now becoming one of the most popular factors to anybody selecting a business they want to work with. 90%. So roughly 90% of millennials are on social media. Again, yeah, millennials, yeah, they're young whippersnappers. Okay, fine. But these are now the homeowners. So these are now the people for home services that you want to be in front of. They're the ones making purchases, again, outside of home services. They're the ones shopping, working, having careers, starting to have families. These are the people who are buying stuff now. 69% of consumers trust recommendations of influencers over traditional marketing. So I threw this one in there because influencer marketing is on the rise. It basically blew up in 2022 to 2023, and it is still growing strong. This is also something that we offer here at Smart Sites. We coordinate influencers, influencer content. A lot of people are seeing influencers nowadays as a personal recommendation. So I always like to kind of tell the brief story of, in the 90s, I remember going to Sears with my mom who needed a new vacuum cleaner. That salesperson at Sears knew the pros and cons, everything there was to know about every one they had on their shelf, and she could actually see it and hear about it. Now, fast forward to the digital era. Yeah, a lot of people shop online now. Not a lot of people are going to go into the store. I think the last probably 2 or 3 vacuums I personally bought, I bought off Amazon. Not that I always love that, but it's just the convenience factor now. What do influencers do for this? They add that personalization back into that recommendation. So these are real people with a real product in front of them, showing you, using it, talking about it. So now this is the digital era of a personal recommendation. And I believe that's why it's so popular coming up. Any questions on any of these statistics? Okay, perfect. Moving on to KPIs, goals, and tracking. This is some of the most important parts when it comes to social media. And this is what will help you set realistic expectations. Again, the expectations from organic social media to paid are going to be very different. The KPIs are different. What your goals are going to be should be different. And the tracking measures are going to be very different. So for organic social media, the 3 main things we look at are brand awareness, engagement, and then an other sector. Within the brand awareness, we're looking at impressions, profile reach, and your audience growth. Again, going back to what I said earlier, we want to be growing that community for you. We want people to be aware that you and your business exist. Engagement is also another one. So we're going to be looking at your engagement rate. We're going to be looking at reactions. So, the like, the crying, the mad emoji, all that good stuff. Shares, saves, audience growth. If you're utilizing videos, we're going to be looking at video views, how long people are watching your videos, stuff like that. Other metrics that we track to determine what's working well and what's not are link clicks and website traffic. Again, we want to be pushing them from marketing medium to marketing medium. On average, I think it's like 7 touch points somebody has to have before they make a decision to make a move. Social media is just one of those. We're at the top. We're in the discovery phase of your marketing. If we can get them to your website, well, they're even a little more interested. They're reading about it. What's the next step? Maybe they see a paid ad pop up in Google. Maybe they see an influencer talking about your business, and then they revisit that website again, and maybe they submit a contact form. Maybe they book an appointment, whatever it is you're offering. But just keep in mind that there has to be about 7 touch points across the board from your marketing to be effective. So what are the goals? Goals here that we're looking at: reach new customers. Again, biggest thing that we could do for our clients is make people aware that they exist. Where we're doing this in groups, through website traffic, and through engagement. We want people talking. We want people responding. We want people reacting. That is good engagement. That means whatever we're creating and posting is actually resonating with them. They're interested in it. It's stopping their scroll. Increased online reputation. Again, Todd's going to get way more into this than I will as well, but reviews across multiple platforms, brand mentions, all of this stuff we're kind of keeping an eye on behalf of your business. If you have a poor online reputation, it is more than likely going to cost you that customer. You don't want a bunch of negative reviews. You don't want, a bunch of spam in your comments. That's even something we watch as well. We're deleting spam, we're deleting bots. We don't want anything to look spammy in the day and age where it seems like there's so much scams going on. That makes people nervous. Better customer service. Again, a lot of people are going to go directly to social media now to send a message, to talk to a business, to, ask about an order, to ask about a product, to schedule an appointment. There's a lot of forms of communication, and they still use contact forms on the website. Some people still pick up the phone and call, but it's less than what it ever was. So having a good system in place to answer comments, to answer questions, to respond back to DMs is extremely important for your organic social media. I'm going to pause here for a few seconds. Are there any questions about anything I just went over on this slide? Okay, perfect. So social media strategy, what makes a good strategy? I put together a couple points of everything that we look for in a social media account, what we look at, what we, talk about internally as a team, how we put together a strategy. So our strategies here at Smart Sites are about 25 slides long for our clients. We leave no stone left unturned. So I did my best to put in bullet point format for you all of the things that we kind of talk about with our clients, what we talk about internally, and how we put these together. So first and foremost is the audience identification and defining of the goals. You can't have a good strategy if you don't have this set in place already. A few things we look at here are the goals. What is your goal on social media? And it needs to be realistic. Again, if you're looking for sales, leads, conversions, that is going to be paid advertising. We're going to look at competitor research. We're going to look at hashtag research. We take a deep dive into your audience demographics and buyer personas. Who is your ideal audience member? Knowing all this information, it's going to help us create a content strategy that will actually resonate with that person. Where are they at in their buying process? What are their problems? What are our solutions to their problems? Understanding the KPIs that support those goals. We go over this in detail as well. So if this is your goal, this is what we're going to be tracking to prove that we are getting towards that goal. Choosing effective platforms is really major as well. I can't stress enough that I would prefer to see somebody rocking out 2 platforms instead of trying to post to all 6 popular platforms out there, but not doing a good job with it. Choose the platforms where your audience is actually receiving information, where they're scrolling, where they're identifying new brands. And again, understanding the demographics and your audience is going to help with that. Creating the right strategy tactics. So there's a lot of tactics we could utilize. Posts, videos, which would be reels, engagement. There's inbound and outbound engagement tactics. Inbound would be, people coming to you. They're commenting on posts. They're sending you DMs. Outreach would be those groups I keep referring to. We're posting in groups. We're recommending your services, your products, whatever it is. There's forums. Get part of the conversation. Those organic tactics are going to get you the most amount of reach and impressions than anything else. When you only are posting to your timeline organically, your reach is only going to be around 2% of your audience. And you're only reaching people who already follow you, not new people. So the outreach is extremely important. Creating internal guidelines and a handbook on social media handling. If you have multiple people working on your social media, it's important that everything stays consistent. Platform selection and optimizations. Understanding your audience on each platform and which platforms your audience utilizes. I already touched on this, so I won't go too far into this. Researching and knowing features of selected platforms. Every platform is a little bit different. Even though Meta owns Facebook and Instagram, if you're on those 2 platforms, you're going to see and know that they're very, very different. One supports live links, one doesn't. One has groups, one doesn't. One has a bio where you could write, quite a few characters. One is like 2 sentences. That's all you have. So understanding how to optimize and utilize each platform is going to be extremely important. Keyword optimized bio. This goes back to the search I was talking about earlier. Make sure keywords you're targeting and you'd like to come up for on Google, in search, on social media platforms are utilized in your bio, in the about section, in hashtags, absolutely everywhere that you can. Service and keyword optimize service and product listings. So on Facebook specifically, and I know a couple others, especially if you have e-commerce products, you can set up like Instagram shop and you can set up TikTok shop. But specifically like on Facebook, you can list out your services, you can list out products. Make sure those are keyword optimized for search results, because again, Google is crawling those pages for search results. And the cover and the profile visuals. I can't stress how important this is. People think, oh, it's just a profile image. Oh, it's just a cover, but it is actually your first impression. If people can look at that and know exactly what your business does and how professional they appear, they're more likely to click on something further or keep scrolling and learning about your business. Moving on to point number 3, content and visual strategy. So once we have all the details figured out in the beginning there, now we are going to move on to the content and visual strategy. Who's going to take images and video footage? You can use stock. We do that for a lot of clients who maybe don't have a lot of assets or anything like that. But speaking from experience, personalized photos and actual images of your brand, of the people who work for your company, of your products, of your services are always going to perform 100% better, especially for reels and video footage. Stock video is okay. It will still get you some video creation, but it's not going to be as engaging. It's not going to be as realistic. People aren't going to connect with it as strongly. Into this also is editing and the images and video footage. You have to have a way to edit and kind of know what you're doing. CapCut is something that is very easy to use. You can add in transitions. You can lighten it. You can turn things colors like black and white. You can add text to it. It's a pretty easy to use platform as well. You don't have to, be an iMovie and create all these crazy videos or anything like that. Create post graphics as needed. Again, we're looking at branded graphics. A lot of people use Canva. I think you can use CapCut for this as well, but CapCut is mostly going to be video. But having some form of editing tool to keep the brand aesthetic and the consistency is going to be extremely important. And plan and create those stories. Stories are highly engaging and they work for a lot of businesses. I always like to recommend that you treat stories as, the personalization of your business. What are you working on today? Where are you at? Do you have a common Q&A that you wanted to throw out there for people to listen to? Do you have a really weird case on your hands, on a project you're working on? Anything that personifies your business should go into your stories. They should be more casual. They should be more laid back than your formal posts. Moving on to management and maintenance here. These are all the aspects that go into this. On a generic level, for some clients, they ask us to do more specific stuff. Sometimes we recommend more specific stuff, but on average, these are the things you should be doing under the management. Comment monitoring and responding, message monitoring and responding, boosting, promoting, inviting new followers. When I say boosting, I don't mean to click that blue boost button. Please do not do that. That is so 2000s of us right now. But with all the iOS updates that we've seen in recent years and stuff, the information and the data is just not accurate when we choose boosting, put in typical demographics and stuff like that as well. What we do here at Smart Sites is we actually create an ad account and create custom and lookalike audiences based on your current audience member. We can match the details of your audience members by like 95% to target people who have similar shopping habits, similar demographics, similar scrolling habits, all that good stuff. So we know we're targeting people that would actually be effective followers for you and that they're real. They're not going to be spam. They're not going to be bots. So I highly recommend if you're utilizing Ads Manager and you're not sure how to create lookalike or custom audiences, please look into that because that will tremendously increase the value of the paid promotion on your page. Now, I know this also sounds a little contradictory for me saying we're organic and we don't do paid. When we do paid promotion, we have smaller budgets and the only objective we utilize is engagement and follower growth. We're boosting to get in front of new people to grow your community. That is it. We don't have a larger, budget to work with like PPC or pay-per-click advertising may. They're the ones that are running the full-blown, consistent, ongoing ads that are going to turn those leads and conversions. Outreach is another big one. Again, this is that outbound engagement. So we're posting in groups, posting in forums. If somebody new follows you, a lot of clients love to message them and say, hey, thanks for the follow. Here's, 10% off your first purchase with us, or, whatever it may be that your business is offering. Again, just to make those touch points with clients, because them seeing a post, them seeing a paid promoted post, and them reaching out to you and them reaching, clicking onto your website, those are all touch points. So those go into the 7 touch points that I'm discussing. Review data, make strategy adjustments monthly. This is the great thing about social media. You can look at statistics from a month and kind of have an idea of what worked well and what did not. Now, there might need to be some A/B testing here. You know, if you have a post topic that you're like, wow, nobody engaged with that, that must not be entertaining. Was it, or was it that we didn't post it on the right day or the right time? Look at, you know, some of your most engaging posts, the best performing posts, what day or time were they posted? Try to post that underperforming topic at that same day and time the next month and see if it makes a difference. But you should still be looking at the data and analyzing every single month to make changes. Cleaning up bots and inactive accounts regularly. They're really cracking down on this right now. If you have an account where you have paid followers, I actually think there was a huge press release announcement the other day on this. They're going to be cracking down on that. They're going to be shutting accounts down. You will not get a lot of support with the algorithms to get your post any form of organic reach. What we do monthly, and I take about a couple hours per client to do this, is we go through and we unfollow any accounts that just don't look great. They're inactive. They look like spam. They look like bots. So what are you looking for when you look through these accounts? No activity. If there's no activity on it, it's likely not, you know, somebody who's an avid social media user. It looks spammy. No profile picture, no cover photo, no about section. There are so many spammers who just create accounts and don't fill anything in, and they use it to troll people. Those are going to be the ones that you want to unfollow and block from your pages. Diving a little deeper into tracking and analysis here. So these are just some of the things that we look at when we're doing marketing reports for our clients. We check all stats monthly at minimum. Again, what are we looking at? Impressions, reach, engagement rates. We're looking at individual posts, which ones were the best performing. We're looking at the paid promotion results. How many link clicks did we get? How many organic people did we send to the website? We can track all of that through a couple sources. We use GA4 for a lot of it. We use the platform specific, so the native metrics like Meta Insights. We use TikTok Insights. We also use Sprout Social. I found this to be a really great tool, and they calculate things slightly different. So don't be shocked if you see an engagement rate in one platform, so in Meta Insights, and then on Sprout Social, you see something different. A lot of them will have that little question mark that you can hover on. Read how they're calculated, because a lot of times there are discrepancies, but the discrepancies strictly come from how they calculate those. Stats to track are audience growth, engagements, impressions, reach, link clicks, and shares. If you're posting a lot of videos, video views is also a really great one as well. Track those boosting results again from the paid promotion. Pay attention to posting days and times if you see discrepancies or inconsistencies. Give attention to positive and negative feedback. Don't be scared of negative feedback. Now, if all feedback is negative and you know legitimately these are not clients of yours, you've never worked with them, you know, there's another approach that you would need to take to get those cleaned up and get those removed, whether they're through Google or Facebook. Google customer service is a little bit better than Facebook. However, a lot of times they won't remove negative reviews. So responding to them in the most effective and respectful manner is absolutely the best thing I can recommend to you. Make strategy adjustments quarterly. Test new strategies for at least 2 to 3 months at a time. Again, are you looking at the results monthly? Absolutely, you should be. Are you changing stuff monthly? Yes, but maybe only slightly. Again, maybe a poor performing post, it's not that the post topic is bad, it's that the day and time was bad. So A/B test this. Test things differently. Pay attention to those results on a regular basis. Anybody have any questions so far on this? Okay, perfect. Diving into some best practices here. This is just kind of a recap on everything I just presented and what we do for home services specifically. So have a good mix of the right platforms. Know your audience and where they browse. Consistency in posting. I recommend at minimum 2 times a week, preferably 3 or 4 times a week. I am an advocate of quality over quantity, though. I would rather see people post 3 times a week with really good quality, engaging posts versus 7 times a week and just throwing stuff up there just to say they posted 7 times a week. There is a real thing called like user fatigue. If people are seeing too much from somebody, they're going to unfollow them or they're not going to engage with them. If they're not seeing enough, they're going to forget you exist. So find that healthy balance on your account. Posts should include a mix of static and video. Big advocate of both. Anything engaging. Carousel posts, videos are always good if you can do some video footage as well. Engagement hours for inbound and outbound. Again, we're talking about, you know, people coming into you, comments, DMs, And the outbound would be, posting in groups, interacting in groups, just interacting with people on your feed in general. Boosting and paid promotion is a must if you want audience growth. Again, if you're just organically posting, you're only going to get in front of the people that already follow you. Protect your online reputation. Have those eyes and ears open at all times. Be checking that every single day. And personify your business. Don't sound sterile, for lack of better terminology here. There is something to be said about a business feeling like a real person on social media. People connect with that. People want to buy from people. They don't want to buy from somebody who just advertises all the time. I'm a big advocate of the 30-70 split. 30% of your post should be promotional, about your services, about your business, but 70% should be how you're helping people. What is their problem and what is the solution you offer for that? That's the kind of stuff that's going to become engaging to your audience. Like if you identify a problem they have and how you can help them, that's going to stop them and make them think. Or it's going to help them remember your business when they're in that situation if they're not right now. Okay, so those are the basics of organic social media for home services. I am offering a free 15-minute consultation. Again, I'll send these slides out as a PDF after this presentation where you can book using my calendar link, where you can pick my brain about your social media. We also do free audits as well if you'd like us to audit your account. Give you our recommendations, do competitor research for you. We're happy to do all of that for you as well. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay, well, I will go ahead and hand this over to Todd. We will have a live Q&A at the end of this call as well. Todd, why don't you go ahead and take over now?
You got it. Hey, can everyone do me a favor? Can you jump into the chat right now and just put in there, what service are you in? I really want to just get a nice sense of the different services that we have out there. And then while I get this set up here, can everybody see what I'm presenting here? Awesome. Let's hammer through this. And I'm really excited. It was, thank you, Kimber, so much. I spent about 10 minutes with Kimber and I realized, not only is she a professional communicator, but she really knows her stuff. So I want to just build on that. And I want to leave you here with some practical do's and don'ts on how you can actually build advocates that are going to make an impact to your bottom line. So let's jump right in. For those of you that missed my intro, I'm Todd Jensen. I'm the CMO at Snowball, and it's great to be here. Some people call me the Walter White of caffeine in the state of Utah. No caffeine gets in or out without me knowing. So a little bit about me, and I've got a lot of that running through my system right now. But let's jump in, because what I'm going to share are insights that we've gleaned from over 300,000 conversations that we've had with our clients' customers in the home services industry. That's really our bread and butter. And we've learned some great things, and I want to share those with you. Not just the findings, but I'm going to leave you with some practical things you can do right now. If you've got questions, throw them in the chat and let's go through. I'm seeing lots of great things in there. Legal services, public health, car industry, home care, industrial, seeing some great things in there. So thank you everybody for chiming in. But let's jump into some of these insights. But first, just a teeny bit about Snowball. Who are we? We basically provide word of mouth marketing, and we do it for you. And so Snowball is a software platform. It's powerful technology blent with our talent to provide and get you more customers from your happy customers. And how do we do this? We nurture ongoing conversations. Now pay attention to that, because you're going to hear this reiterated for the next few minutes. We nurture conversations with customers, generating referrals, reviews, video testimonials, and a lot of other things. And this really levels up the entire buyer's journey. And the best part is we do it for you. And so everything that Kimber just shared with you, most of that is marketing 101, you have kind of the top of your funnel. That's really where they're going to help you out, is bringing in those new customers. Our specialty is taking your customers to actually generate more customers from them. I've got some stats there that you can read if you've ever got a bad case of insomnia, but let's jump in. Basically, we create the snowball effect. We bring in customers, gather some referrals from them, reviews, video testimonials, package that up into social assets that you can share, and everything that Kimber just talked about. We kind of arm you with a lot of that, and that creates more customers. And then we get more referrals from them, and it creates that snowball effect. Essentially, we do this through these ongoing conversations. And this is what I'm going to show you how to duplicate. Essentially, we gather we reach out to your happy customers, and we'll ask them for referrals. We'll identify who are our advocates, who are our detractors. We'll actually, it's a give and take. So we'll submit support tickets. We then ask for referrals, and we get those referrals and turn those into reviews, video testimonials, and more referrals. So this is the snowball effect within each one of these conversations. And it's these conversations that we've had where we've gleaned these insights that I'm going to dive into. And there's 5 of them: connect, master, make, start, and understand. Those aren't just action verbs. Let's drill down into each one of these. I'm going to share what we have found and how you can actually apply it. So the first one, connect consistently. This is what we found, some surprising data, that 60% of referrals that are generated from actually come from customers that have been asked more than once. In fact, on average, it's 2.6 times that they've been contacted before they send over their first referral. What does this mean for you? This means you need to consistently communicate with your customers. So you need a mind shift. That means instead of blasting out messages, think this is an ongoing conversation. And that means when they reply to you or they've got questions or concerns, it needs to be a give and take. It's not just a gimme, gimme, gimme. And so this needs to be something where you're going to engage and answer their questions so that they feel that human touch. Also, you want to adjust your frequency of outreach based off their sentiment. And here's your first hack. This is what we do at Snowball. When we first reach out, we'll ask for a referral. Now that is a big and personal request, right? But these what we find is right at that point where we ask for a referral, we very quickly find out if they're an advocate or if they're a detractor. If they say, I wouldn't refer someone to you, not until you fix XYZ, well, then now you know, okay, this is a detractor. All right, we've got a problem to solve. But if you hear, oh, no one comes to mind right now, let me think about it. There's an advocate, and you'll adjust your frequency and outreach based off of that. And you have to think of your referral outreach. When you first reach out to someone and request a referral, it's not like they're going to pull out their phone and just start sending referrals over. Now that happens, but it's not common. What usually happens with referrals is if you're top of mind, then organically within normal day-to-day conversations, while they're at a barbecue, while they're at a family reunion, while they're at a picnic or something like, I don't know if people do picnics anymore, but while they're just having conversations, that's when, let me tell you about my new windows and that's the time when you're going to have an opportunity for a referral conversation. And that's going to be possible if you're nurturing those conversations with your customers over time. Now, here's just a couple of things that you just got to stop doing. Now, it's okay if you're doing them. Most people's referral programs and their word of mouth marketing programs suck. So if yours does, you're in good company. But here's a couple of things that you can stop doing. Stop just blasting out one and done messages. That mentality, you've just got to get out of that. We see it a lot where maybe a CEO or a CRO is super excited and they're like, we got to get referrals. And so they blast out messages to all their customers. 6 months later, oh yeah, we got to get referrals. And they blast out messages again. That's not a referral program. That's a gimme type of a relationship with your customers. The other mistake that we see all the time is these companies will have really good ambitions for a robust referral program, but then they'll just dump it on their sales team, or they'll dump it on their support team, or they'll dump it on, a technician and say, okay, great, check, we've got that done. They're going to request them. We're in good shape. You've got to get that mentality just out of your mind, unless you're a glutton for punishment or you really like disappointment, because what's going to happen is they've got fatter fish to fry. They're just not going to get to it. This has to be intentional, your referral program. And so you want a point of contact within your company that is actually facilitating this. Now, all those people that I mentioned, your sales team, your technicians, all of those, they make great supplements to your referral program. Train them, arm them with the material, but it's only supplementary. Otherwise, you just can't have this ongoing conversation with your customers. So, any questions about consistency, that first principle and those first insights? Any questions from the group here? Awesome. Let's jump into insight number 2. And this is, you've got to master the timing. A couple of things that we've discovered is there's really 2 honeymoon periods, right? You've got, where everyone's in love and starry-eyed. And the first honeymoon period, you can probably intuit. It's right when you get a new customer. Well, our data backs that up. In fact, if you reach out to a new customer, you will 5x your referral rate. In fact, you'll 2x your detractor rate as well. And the reviews that you're requesting, the star rating on those will be 150% higher. So that is just a special honeymoon period. So you want to handle that period with white gloves. But there's a second honeymoon period. And this is when somebody has sent you a referral and they've received the referral payout. Boom. You've just reinfused the relationship with vigor, and they're excited again. And so this is your second honeymoon period. And so you really want to pay attention to these 2. And so what does this mean for you practically, day in and day out? Some things you want to do. You want to identify these moments, the 2 honeymoon periods and additional moments of peak enthusiasm. We call them moments of delight. And one thing that we see on that second honeymoon period, in fact, where they send in their first referral, is you can create these micro honeymoons between the time that they sent the referral and they get the payout. And what you do is you'll keep them up to date on how that referral's doing. And then what you end up finding is, oh, thanks, you sent over, Janet's name, she's amazing, and oh, we're progressing nicely, and we're really excited to close. Now you've created for them this mini honeymoon period, and what you're going to find is they now become your advocate. They actually become your wingman or your co-salesperson, where they're going to help you close that deal with Janet. So identifying these moments of peak enthusiasm are going to be key. And another time that you may want to consider is when you go out to maybe, service that garage door or repair that roof. Again, you've just solved a problem for someone and you've created this moment of enthusiasm. That is a fantastic time to actually send a referral or a review request right after you've solved a problem. Now, that's a lot of follow-up, right? I was talking to a customer of ours, and she was telling me what it was like before she signed on to Snowball. And I said, how did you manage your referral program? And she held up this big stack of sticky notes. And she said, Todd, this was my referral program before. And my computer was just covered in this. Now, she's super smart, so that worked for her. But in her words, it just drove her crazy. So you can take that approach, or you can actually integrate your referral program with your CRM. Your customer relationship management tool. This could be Salesforce, this could be Zoho, this could be HubSpot. But just like you do with your prospects, where you've carefully identified stages, right? Like, ooh, look at, they're progressing. Treat your referrals just like that in your CRM and identify these moments of enthusiasm and add stages there so that as they progress within the CRM as a happy customer, they can then be notified. So you can do it with the sticky notes, or you can integrate your CRM to do a lot of this, and you won't go crazy. So some things you got to stop doing. Don't wait too long. Just think a happy customer is like McDonald's French fries. They are delicious for about 10 minutes. And then they taste like cardboard. It like hits this tipping point where all of a sudden they suck. Same thing with a happy customer. Don't wait too long. You want to hit them right when they're at peak enthusiasm. The other thing, and we see this way too often in the home services industry, and it usually happens because you've handed this over to the sales team, or you haven't integrated it very well with your CRM, and that's asking for reviews or referrals before the job's even done. I mean, it's like walking into a restaurant and they ask for a tip, before you've even been sat. You're just going to annoy people. So just make sure not to do that. And then also watch for obvious bad days. We have a moving company that we work with, and they're fantastic. And they told us, they said, we will not ask for a referral on the day of the move. And we're thinking, oh, wow, that seems like the perfect day. Like you just got, they're super excited. They got the truck in their driveway, and they say, no, they don't even know where their dog is. They don't even know where their kids are. Like boxes are everywhere. So that is the most chaotic day. That is not when we ask. But if you're installing solar, or you just installed some windows, or you just, repaired someone's gutters, that might be the perfect time as someone stands back and looks at their new windows to ask for that referral. So those are some do's and don'ts about timing. What questions do we have? Chime in with questions in the chat. I don't see any come in, so let's talk about making advocacy easy. Now, we've done some pretty intense research, like I said, and we have discovered people like things to be easy. So there's your key insight, from the Snowball team. You're welcome. But it's easy to say, oh, things need to be simple. It's hard to actually make them simple. So let's talk about that. These are some practical things you can do. Show a QR code. It's super easy. Someone can just scan the QR code with their phone. So whenever possible, display a QR code. Here's a QR code. I wish that I had thought of it and it went right to my sneaker fund that you could all contribute to. But no, it just leads right to a guide that gives you all these stats. But show a QR code. And we have a moving company, JK Moving, and they're fantastic. And they actually put QR codes on all their materials for their referral program. And they partnered with a storage unit, and they plaster these all over the storage unit so that not only are they getting referrals from their customers, but they're getting referrals from anyone else that's at the storage unit. Makes it really easy with a QR code. When someone scans that, you want it to go to a dedicated page, a shareable page where they have a unique URL so that they can take that URL, they can post it on their Facebook page, they can post it on their HOA board so that they can now, have a nice trickle of referrals come through without them having to do something. So a nice hack there. And then also, remember, we talked about that moment where they're a brand new customer and they're super excited and happy with you, and you've asked for a referral. The most common thing you're going to hear is, not yet. That is by far the most common thing. It is really easy to get a review right at that moment, because it's just, it's kind of the principle of reciprocity where, oh, you just asked me for something. I don't have a referral right now. Hey, will you leave us a review? Oh yeah, I can do that in 2 minutes. I would love to do that. And we find that people are really willing to leave a review right after they've said not yet about a referral. Some things you just got to knock it off. Don't make them download something like a big form to participate in your referral program. You might as well just be chasing them away with hot sticks. Don't make them write something down. They're not cavemen. They're going to lose it. And don't include some giant complicated form. Just think of this. For every field, this is marketing 101. For every field you add on your form, just imagine 10% of people bailing on you. So you're going to get requests from all over the org. Hey, while you're reaching out, why don't you ask them how much income they have as a household? Why don't you ask them their blood type? Wow, we can do so much with all this data. So just tell them, no, we'll lose 10% of people roughly with each new field that we create. So just have 2 or 3 fields that people can create right there on your form. And then also make sure, double check, triple check to make sure your form is mobile friendly. If someone has to Zoom and then they have to try to go sideways to figure out your form, they're going to hate you. You might as well just, be flipping them the bird. Not really, but they're not going to love it. So just be careful with some do's and don'ts. Questions? What questions do you have? Let me just check here. Awesome. So let's talk about the 4th principle. This is what we have found is you need to start personalizing. We all know this, but there's different layers to personalization. And this is what we have found, that if the company asks, hey, we're XYZ Solar, do you want to send us a referral? That's fine. But better than that is to say, hey, this is Megan from XYZ Solar. Do you want to leave a referral? Obviously, that's even better. Well, there's this triple layer of personalization. And that's where you say, hey, this is Megan. I'm the assistant to Kyle, and we would love for you to send us a referral. And even better than that is that 3rd one. Hey, Brian, this is Megan. I am Kyle's assistant. You now have 3 layers of personalization. People don't want to talk to a company. They want to talk to a person. So that means you need to use their name. Hey, Kyle, I'm Megan, Tyler's assistant who worked with you. That is not a personalization sandwich. That is a personalization Big Mac, multiple layers. And I think I have quickly showed you a little bit of my dietary habits throughout this presentation. If you want to add a little extra sauce on that, then mention specific details like, hey, how are you loving your new kitchen? Something like that is going to make it even better. And then communicate to people in their preferred channel. If you want to get a Gen Z, and like you, Kimber, I have a hard time keeping them straight, but if you want to get a Gen Z to answer a voicemail, yeah, good luck with that. It's just not going to happen. So respond to the channel, whether it's text, whether it's email, whether it's a phone call that you know, or you feel, or you have found that they are going to respond to. A couple of things you got to stop doing. Stop sending out mass impersonal messages. We have a finely tuned BS detector. We are all professional consumers. We can detect just an impersonal, one and done message all day long. Additionally, drop the corporate jargon. It makes you feel really important, and you think, oh, if I go into ChatGPT, and write this up, it's just gonna add all this fluff. Drop the corporate jargon. So things like, oh, we value your opinion, or you're important to us. How it's translated to customers is, dear valued customer XY2-5. Like, it sounds like the most impersonal thing ever. Don't be afraid to use just normal everyday language, like, gotcha, all right, take it easy, we'll see you next time. Just normal things that you would say to someone at IHOP or something like that. Just normal conversational language. So our last principle here is to understand rewards. It's the question we get the most. What do I do about my rewards? Well, all you've got to do to understand rewards is just understand the most complex organ in the human body, the brain. That's it. I'll make it really easy for you, though. You want to trigger the mesolimbic system. You can use that phrase over the holidays at a family get-together, and everyone will be impressed. You want to trigger the mesolimbic system. Essentially, what this does is this is what fires your actual dopamine and just gives somebody that instant honeymoon feeling. And so you want to identify as many opportunities as possible to trigger the mesolimbic system. It just rolls right off the tongue. So how are you actually going to do that in regards to your rewards? We highly recommend a 2-tiered approach. And that is, you send one payout when they send a referral with, maybe at a small amount, and then a bigger amount when that referral actually closes. A two-tiered approach, you've doubled your chance for the mesolimbic system to kick into gear. Additionally, remember, you want to keep your customer informed about the status of that referral. So again, they're feeling really excited because they see that payout coming. Don't be afraid to run short-term promotional campaigns. They work really well. Like, hey, we're doubling our incentive in October, so we're calling it our scary good deal, or whatever you want to do. So use those just to heighten that dopamine rush. And then if you really like a rush of dopamine, it's really nice when the finance person comes over to your desk and says, not only is your referral program working, but it makes financial sense. So you want to make sure that your incentives are aligned with your customer acquisition costs so that it's working for everybody and it's actually scalable. So that leads me right to my don'ts. Don't set that first reward too high. What you're going to see is a lot of fraudulent referrals. People just emptying their phone's contacts into your referral program. And so you're going to get a lot of junk referrals, and it's going to cost you a ton. And then the team is going to make you shut down the referral program. But don't give that reward, don't make it too small. If you send out your first outreach for referrals and you get crickets, that's the feedback that you need. Oh, we haven't hit that Goldilocks zone yet. We haven't hit that sweet spot. So pay attention to the feedback of silence. And then finally, don't fumble your payout. If you want to turn an advocate into a detractor real fast, they just sent you someone that they trust, and then they're waiting and waiting and waiting, and that payout hasn't been taken care of. People with chaotic referral programs, they really suffer with this. And then people are jumping into reviews and saying, I sent over a friend and I still haven't got my $500. And it's really going to make just a mess for your reputation. And more importantly, it's just a really bad experience for customers that naturally like you. So those are the 5 key insights that we have found from over 300,000 conversations with our clients' customers. So connect consistently, master the timing, make advocacy easy, personalize your messaging, and understand the brain and rewards and how that all works together. That is a lot of stuff. Like Kimber said, you don't have to, hopefully you didn't take a lot of screenshots or write anything down. If you want all this data, plus a lot more insights that I wasn't able to get to. I'm talking templates that you can use. I'm talking, and something that I missed there is some people, when they send out this wall of text, they'll send out a message to people. They break the rule of 100. And that's where they've got over 100 words in their email, and they've got over 100 characters in their text. And they're just chasing people away with the great wall of text. All right, we're going to give you some templates within that guide that shows you, all right, here's a really good message and how to get right to the point. We're going to show you the calculations for actually determining, does this make sense with our CAC? So you can get all of that. You're going to get a nice checklist. Here's how I get started. It's not a 35-page brochure that says, call Snowball, we're the greatest. Really trying to arm you with the tools you need to just have a butt-kicking word-of-mouth marketing program for your company. Additionally, if you want an ROI projection report, our team will send that over to you, and so you can wave it around, in your office and say, here's the return we're going to get if we take referrals seriously. And if you want to meet with one of our account executives, mention this webinar and they'll give you 60 days of our highest plan. Again, this is the we do it for you. So you can test it and see if it's going to work. You're going to get 60 days without that monthly charge. We do have a tiny little implementation, small implementation fee, but try it out. So anyway, scan this QR code right now and go get that guide. Any questions that I can help with? Good, because I need a drink of water.
It looks like Morgan had a question. I don't know if who would be best to answer this, but she asked, in a time where the mentality is I place an order today and I have it tomorrow, what is the best way to set an expectation for a week or 2 weeks lead time, but still remain a potential sale?
So help me understand that, Cassandra. You're saying when a purchase has been made, what's the lead time before we reach out to them? What's a good expectation to make a good customer experience? Help me understand that question.
Yeah, oh, Kimber's raising her hand.
There you go, Kimber. Take it and run.
I think I know what Morgan is asking here because this is like a topic of conversation in my house a lot. So in the world we live in today, it's easy to expect to place an order for a product today and have it tomorrow or the next day. Hello, Amazon. I live 10 minutes from the Amazon Prime warehouse, so I get a lot of my orders same day, which is amazing. But I think what Morgan's asking, and Morgan, you can comment in the chat if this is not what you mean. How do you set an expectation of a 1 to 2 week lead time when the mentality of today's society is 2-day Prime shipping type situation? And in my opinion, again, I'm not personally, in sales or, retail or anything like that. But in my opinion, just setting that expectation up front. If people are ordering from a small business or, a family owned business, they're going to look at that, those details on your social media, on your website. And if they know up front what to expect, I think that mentality is already set for them and it's going to be less of an issue. If you don't set that expectation up front, they might get mad about lead times and stuff like that with the excuse of, well, I didn't know or nobody told me. So I would say just being very clear on those expectations in the beginning before somebody makes a purchase is the most important. But again, if I'm not understanding your question correct, please put it in the group chat. Todd, does that clarify?
It sure does. And I mean, what's the phrase? If, the key to happiness is just managed expectations. And so 100% agree with that. And communication during that time between purchase and the time where they actually get their product or their service, just status updates will greatly help to manage those expectations. Any other questions?
I have a question actually for you, Todd. What are some of the best ways to respond to negative reviews?
Yeah, we hear this a lot. That's a great question, Cassandra, is what do we do when we get negative reviews? Whether that's on, Google My Business or that's on Yelp or any of these other services. I really recommend kind of a two-prong approach. One is basic and the other is extra credit. Number one is get in there and respond and in the humblest, most approachable way possible. And again, this is where if you're using corporate jargon or you're looking defensive in a response to a negative review, you have just amplified the impact of that negative review. So this is what one of these responses needs to look like. It needs to address the person by name and say, Kyle, I am so sorry to hear this has been a bad experience for you. We really work our butts off, to make this a fantastic experience. If you know that there was wrong done, apologize. Don't be afraid to use that big A word. Just apologize. We are sorry. We messed up here. And then make sure you conclude with, how can we make this right? Please reach out to us directly, and we're dedicated to make this right. Just a quick anecdote here. I was doing a presentation and I saw we had some automotive people in here, but way back in the day, this will age myself. I was doing a presentation. I worked at eBay for a long, long time, back before Amazon was kicking everyone's butt. And eBay was kind of the golden child. And I was doing a presentation in front of all these dealerships and they asked the exact same question. And I showed up on the screen an example of a dealer that had gotten just this terrible review. Well, they came in and made that response and said, look, we take ownership. We are so sorry. What can we do to make it right? The original reviewer then came in a couple weeks later and said, holy crap, that is amazing. Like, I understand businesses are filled with humans. You messed up, but more importantly, you made it right. And I had someone in the back of the presentation raise their hand and he said, I want to get a negative review just so I can respond that way because it looks so human and it looks so authentic. So that's your basic. And then number 2, and then I'll zip it. Number 2 is ask someone on the executive team to come in and make that comment. So it doesn't come in with the company logo, but it comes in with someone that really is going to feel that empathy and can make things happen and say, will you respond to this review? And you're going to find you're really going to just dispel the impact of that negative review.
Awesome, thank you. And then it looks like Gerardo asked a question. He's in the legal field and they have a lot of ethical rules of conduct that prevent offering payouts in exchange for reviews or referrals. Can you recommend any alternatives to boost word of mouth marketing without offering compensation?
Yeah, and you're seeing, it's a great question, Geraldo. If you want to send me a direct email, I can go into more depth here. It's toddj@snowball.com, and I can send you some more resources on some best practices here. But essentially, you have kind of you have 2 different levels of motivation, right? You have like the monetary, and then you got these intrinsic motivations, and so you really want to lean on those intrinsics, like we really value, like, you are an amazing customer for us. You know, do you want to join our ambassador program, or hey, we would love to. Any way you can roll out the red carpet, not of product or not with money, but with attention and making them feel special. So that's my really short answer. It is a little bit more difficult, but I've seen some people do it really well. So Geraldo, send me an email at toddj@snowball.com, and I can send you some other resources on that. We've gone over a few minutes. Thank you, everyone, for your patience, but these questions have been fantastic. Any others?
I don't see any others coming through. Cass, did you have any other last thoughts, or are you good here?
I think I'm good here, since we did go over a little bit.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, again, thank you everybody for attending. We appreciate it. I will send out the slides either today or tomorrow morning, along with the recording once that is done. If you have any additional questions, feel free to always reach out to Todd and I. We're happy to have 15